Hi and welcome along to a very special Invincible podcast brought to you today by Who Knows Win. Lee Judge is in the building. Happy. Hey, I love you. You're looking tan, bro.
Yes, been on holiday. Had a lovely holiday. Beat you again at this game.
Where'd you go?
And I went to Dubai. Lovely. It was very nice, very hot.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Tanned up. Look at him, look.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it wasn't a good Saturday when we lost to Southampton, but, you know, we come back.
Yeah.
Come back.
And listen, just a Lee hospitality judges at his finest. Who was you watching the, you said to me you were watching the game, Liverpool versus Man City. Yeah. Who was you watching that with?
A certain Robbie Fowler. I don't know if you know him,
This guy, man, you know what I mean? Watching games with Robbie Fowler, Liverpool legend, and that's who you're watching the game with.
Yeah. John Barnes, but a couple of,
and John Barnes.
No, he actually went the day before, so I think work commitments, but hanging out with Robbie, a decent Robbie. I was hanging about with.
Listen to this guy, man. See, he's dumped me. And we got a very special guest in the studio today because obviously Arsenal.
Where?
Arsenal, of course, this weekend are taking on Manchester United. We have got Flex from United View in the building. Thanks for coming along, man.
I was thinking of ducking this one. I'm not going to lie.
And of course, we're going to be talking about that game, Arsenal versus Manchester United. Before we get into that, of course, we always start off the show by our predictions on Who Knows Wins. He messaged me from Dubai. Yeah, I beat you.
He still had time to do that.
Yeah, you don't know this guy. Flex, you don't know him, man.
He's still doing that.
Honestly, he's that alpha male, ultra competitive. You know what I mean? No message from there, Robbie. How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I beat you.
I've done it again.
Does he always win every week?
He don't win every week. He don't win every week.
It is about 8-1. I'll tell you that.
He don't win every week.
He averages three a game.
I got 3 losses.
He got 3.
I told you already because how I try and do it, I'm going for the big prize.
Yeah.
So,
I don't
play safe, man. Yeah. So anyway, let me just quickly run through. You can help us out with this. I'm going to quickly run through this week.
He's had to bring in help this week. That's how bad it's going.
Of course, it's the pick 10, right? So remember how it goes. You deposit £5 and you got yourself a chance to win 10 grand by just depositing £5. The link is in the description if you want to get involved, or you might just want to play along for fun here, right? Couple of the games there, right? We're going to run through. Bournemouth versus Fulham. Interesting game. Bournemouth going for promotion. Yeah. Fulham already promoted.
Is it at Bournemouth, yeah?
At Bournemouth.
Yeah, so you've really stuck your neck out on this one, haven't you?
I went for a draw.
He stuck his neck out there.
I think Bournemouth really need it, but they're faltering.
I went for a draw as well.
Yeah. By the way, Mitrovic.
Yeah.
40 goals.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Do you think in the Premier League he's going to come up? Not 40 goals, but...
No, he's not going to score 40 goals in the Premier League.
I rate Mitrovic.
He's a solid player. Isn't he? You know what you get with him.
Remember, in the seasons that he didn't do a lot in the Premier League, right? I think one, he was injured, and then the other one, Scott Parker hardly played him.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see. Ivan Toney, who held the record, I think he got 38 goals.
He stepped up.
He's had a good season in the Premier League. So Derby versus Bristol City. I've gone for Derby.
I think I went for
even
Derby.
Though they're relegated now.
It's at home as well, isn't it? Yeah, that shows something.
Leicester versus Aston Villa.
Leicester.
Draw. Actually,
I went for Leicester.
Leicester.
Yeah. Villa have lost 4 out of their last 5, I think.
Yeah, they're struggling.
Man City versus Watford.
You've gone Watford.
Right. That's the banker of the weekend. Yeah. This is an interesting one. Norwich versus Newcastle. They're safe now, Newcastle.
You've gone Norwich.
I've got Norwich because I think Norwich got a fight.
I think I went Norwich on that same.
Yeah, Norwich are fighting for their life. Newcastle safe now.
Yeah.
Still down though, don't they, Norwich?
Yeah. Peterborough versus Forest.
Yeah. You've gone
on a good run.
Sheffield United versus Cardiff. I went for Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Swansea versus Middlesbrough.
Interesting one because Middlesbrough got to win that one.
Yeah.
Middlesbrough got to win that.
They're faltering. Both of them are faltering. I think I went for a draw, didn't I?
No, you went for
Swansea win. I went Swansea win.
Yeah.
Wickham versus Sheffield Wednesday. I've gone for Sheffield Wednesday. Brentford versus Tottenham, I've gone for a draw.
Yeah.
I actually went for a draw because that's what I'm wishful
Yeah.
That's a
thinking.
dangerous game for Tottenham.
That is a dangerous game. They're on form as well at the moment,
are.
and that's a tough place to go
Tough
to.
place to
How
go
did you
to.
look? You look.
We won in the end, but we should have been 3-0 down at half time and they didn't take their chances.
They at home they're strong and they'll be. I think they've beaten every London club there. Or
Yeah, and they've got
no
Ericsson.
London club.
They've got
No,
Ericsson
Chelsea
now.
beat
No,
them.
Chelsea beat them there.
Chelsea beat them.
They beat us. They beat. Who else did they beat?
Must have beat Palace.
They beat
West Ham, they beat
West Ham there. They
Yeah,
beat
beat
Palace
West Ham.
there. They're decent, man. They're decent and they're on form at
It'd
the
be great
moment.
if Ericsson gets the winner, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? Like,
But anyway, we've got to flex on because we were previewing the Man United game. Just before we touch on the United game, of course, 3 defeats in a row is pure doom and gloom around Arsenal. Even though I felt that the Southampton game, there was much of an improvement in the performance at Arsenal. I just felt that we didn't put the chances away, but we had a lot of shots. The effort was there. Whereas in the previous game, Brighton, I didn't see the effort. I was disappointed. The effort was there, but Chelsea going into that game, be honestly, did you think you just opt back off the plane from Dubai? Was you thinking to yourself,
Nah, I've got to be honest. I didn't think we'd win off. I didn't see it coming. I didn't see that sort of performance. Then looking at the team, I'm going to be honest. When the team come out, we was in the pub. A lot of Arsenal fans not happy like that.
where's Martinelli?
Exactly. Where's Martinelli?
What's Nketiah going to do?
Criticising Mikel for putting Eddie in over Martinelli. So and then when he scores, Eddie.
True football
You
fans
can't. It's
style,
true
isn't it?
football fans. You know what I mean? What's Eddie doing? It's Eddie. Sign him up. Sign him up. But it was incredible. I have to say, I've been critical of Mikel over the last couple of games, and rightly so. But he got everything spot on. You know what I mean? From the team tactics, from the team selection, his substitutions I thought were fantastic last night. He done everything, and the players responded. And I think you have to big credit to Eddie because I think he has come under criticism. Brilliant.
At the start of the game, I was doing the studio, yeah, and I think I think my brother as well. Like we were like the only ones that saying, no, I think Eddie deserves to start. So I said at the start of the game, I go, if you actually look at the stats, Martinelli's been a bit quiet recently. He's not really scored. He's not really assisted. And in the game against Southampton, I thought he was a bit anonymous.
Yeah,
right?
he had a poor game.
Whereas Eddie in that game, even though he didn't score, he was lively. You know what I mean? I remember he did that one time that he pressed one of their defenders and it created a chance what Saka should have scored from. And I was like, I'd start Eddie. He deserves to start. You know what I mean? He didn't do nothing wrong in that last game. He deserves to start, and it's the same thing here. Everyone's like, "What do you mean? What for?" I was like, "He deserves to start. Give him a chance. Let's see what he can do."
Well, it couldn't be worse than Lacazette. He hasn't scored. He's scored 4 goals all year, so you got to try something.
Up until then, Eddie hadn't scored either. You know what I mean? He hadn't scored a goal, right? So,
but you have to try something else.
And you know what? I was pleased for Eddie Nketiah. I thought he was brilliant on the night. I thought the whole team was outstanding. Granit Xhaka.
He was brilliant.
Oh
he was
my
good.
God.
He was good, man.
When
What
he
a
hit the
performance.
nutmeg.
Was that 2 nutmegs in a row for that transition?
It wasn't just the nutmeg, it was the pass after as well.
Yeah.
Everything about that was, by the way, what a goal that was.
Great
Brilliant.
goal.
Oh, what
Great
a goal.
counter-attacking goal.
Great counter-attacking goal.
Brave football.
Brave football.
Do you know what's underrated in that passage of play is what Odegaard does, because he plays the original pass out to Saka, then he follows it.
Yeah.
But then when he gets it, that have the composure
To
to
pick
set
the pass.
the weight of pass with Smith Rowe running onto it.
Yeah.
That has to be perfect.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because if you're running at full pelt, you can't have the ball coming at you too quick or not enough on it.
Great point.
Do you know what I mean? So Odegaard
And
was brilliant.
it was the way that Smith Rowe hits it first time.
Yeah.
The keeper's got no chance.
Mendy's a big keeper as well.
didn't
He
move.
spread himself. He just collapsed on his knees.
Yeah.
It was just a great goal. It was
wicked
great
goal.
finish. I thought. Do you know what? I love it with the Arsenal fans that they sing the names of certain players and everything like that. But he deserved it. He walked off yesterday, Grant. I felt a little bit sorry for him because he deserved all the plaudits for the performance yesterday. He was that good in there. And El Nini pushed him close.
Yeah,
He
and then he was
pushed him
excellent
close.
as well. And it was a great team performance by Arsenal. And do you know what as well, Lee? There was 6 homegrown players, 6 English players on that pitch for us.
Yeah.
And you know, all the goals are scored by players that have come up through the ranks. You know, Smith Rowe, 2 from Eddie Nketiah, and Saka. So that bodes well. That's you know, sometimes you need, those players are hungry.
Yeah.
And they're hungry for that top 4, and that really showed in that performance. And the top 4 fight is back on. And that leads nicely.
For you,
now, come on, I know you're all defeatist in that, right?
No, man.
But that leads nicely into this game on Saturday. Manchester United coming to the Emirates to take on Arsenal is, you know, when it's a relegation fight, they say the 6-pointer. This is a 6-pointer.
It is a 6-pointer, yeah.
Right? Because I think, if United lose this game, I think they're out of the top 4.
We're already out of it. We're already out of it. I'm being serious. I'm being serious. Honestly.
How can you already be out of it?
I would love to.
You're 3 points behind us.
Doesn't
right?
matter.
You're 3 points behind us.
Doesn't matter.
Let me just double check that, but I'm sure.
Yeah, we are. We're 3 points behind you.
You're 3 points behind.
And if you beat us, you'd be 6 points ahead of us, and then have a game in hand, and you could make it 9.
Yeah.
The thing is with
it's
Man
a must
United,
win for you, isn't it?
all these games around this time where we haven't been winning have been must win. You know, you have to remember. I know it's difficult as Arsenal fans because you're in a position where you've seen your team you're not sure what you're going to get. 1 minute you can play like that against Chelsea. Then I've been looking at you guys' stuff in the previous 3 defeats, really down a lot, pretty much saying this is why we're done. We're nowhere near top 4. Tottenham are going to get it. Maybe even United. And I understand from your point of view that Man United is still coming. You still got to do your jobs. But I'm just going to be honest from my team's perspective. They've checked out. Honestly, they've checked out. They're a disgrace at the moment. A lot of these players aren't fit to wear the shirt with what we're seeing. The clear out needs to happen. And it's been mad humbling, to be honest with you. It's been disgusting because I expected to lose against Liverpool in that fashion. I said 3-0 minimum, maybe 4. And it was 4. And I expect something similar at the Emirates. And I even said, even if you didn't win against Chelsea, which I didn't predict you would, I thought you would lose. I thought we'd both be going into this game off the back of 2 losses each, right? A loss each. And for, at best for us, it might be 2 awful teams going at it. It might be a 0-0. But if anything, you'd still nick it. Now you've won in that fashion. Man United, at this point in time, do not have the minerals to go to the Emirates and impact the game. They don't.
Do you think, though, and which is a very, very key thing on this now, the appointment of the manager today?
Well, that's it. They've announced the
it's not going to have any bearing on it.
I think it will.
Ten Hag has been announced today as the new manager, even for the end of the season. But he's been announced as the new manager. I remember the last time when we played him at Old Trafford, they announced. They had sacked Ollie.
Yeah.
And they had Carrick in.
And Rannick was in the stands in that game.
Rannick was in the stands. So Rannick, they knew. So they're trying that again to give them a boost. You think it will give them a boost?
Yeah, I do, because I think what it will do is they're all on trial now. They're all on trial. No, they are.
Yeah, but they know they're on trial already.
No, I think a few of them. I think Flex is exactly right what he was saying there. That a few of them are checked out. But there's a few now that may be thinking, oh, well, I've got to impress the new guy. Football's a strange animal, as you can see with the result against Chelsea. And I think at the end of the day, Manchester United are going to bring in players. I think that some of those players know, or they knew they weren't going to have a career.
And the majority of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a few of them have gone, but I do think that. It's when I think Man United missed a trick by not getting the man. They should have got their. Man United are a big enough club. They should never have gone for Rannick. They should have got their man in they wanted there and then, done it there. And I think that's been their downfall because it's too much uncertainty going on at Manchester United. Now the first slab has been put in. The manager's there now, and I do think it will have a slight impact on Saturday. I really do. You know what I mean? Manchester United cannot continue the way they're going.
You see that, right? And this is the thing that I keep. This is what I mean. When you watch it as a United fan and you're seeing it 90 minutes and you're seeing game after game after game of posing that same question, Lee. There's got to be a time where someone shows a reaction. There's got to be a time where these players show some dignity as men. I'm saying because. Manchester United shouldn't have left Anfield without a tear up in that dressing room. It was disgusting. And we've seen that against Everton. We saw it against Liverpool earlier in the season. We saw it against Man City earlier in the season. We saw it against Watford earlier in the season. We saw it against Leicester earlier in the season, battered by them 4-2. So many results, like the list goes on. The list goes on. But I completely disagree. I see why you're saying that as an Arsenal fan. Surely they're not going to come to the Emirates and just roll over and play as poorly as we've been seeing. They're going to show something. I'm telling you now, they don't have it in them. There's a lot of players.
How's it gone? So, listen, when I look at it, right, and you know, Ten Hag will come in at Man United, and he's got Ronaldo, he's got Martial, who will be coming back. He's
finished though. He's proved he's been there for ages, not done anything. What it is, Robbie, is you've got to cut the losses.
There's so many, so many players there. I mean,
they're not as good as you think.
Pogba's leaving, but Pogba,
they're not as good.
Sancho, Varane, Maguire, all these huge
Maguire's
names,
horrendous.
right?
Maguire's the worst captain I've ever seen at Man United. Almost one of the worst centre backs I've ever seen.
Who's going to survive then? Like, you know what I mean, from this? Because I look at Rashford, he doesn't look the same player.
Got confidence is shot.
You know what I mean? So, you've got a new manager coming in, might pick him up a bit.
Yeah.
But
there's not a lot.
I look at Sancho, I think is someone they could pin their
especially
hopes
like
on.
Someone like Ten Hag would be good for them.
Yeah, pin their hopes on. The midfield's got to have a complete
revamp. To answer your question of who's going to survive, the only players you should survive is probably about 4 or 5 max. Which I understand you can't even do all of that in one window. But we've got default players that are leaving, coming to the end of their contracts, and rightly so. People like Matic, he's already announced he's leaving. Mata, Pogba will be off. Cavani's already off, out of contract. Lingard's out of contract. That's 5 just off the cusp. 5. And that's not even from the starting 11. That's only one that is Pogba is in the starting 11. Even when everyone's fit. Ronaldo will probably stay. I think he'll probably stay. He's got 1 year. He's got 1 year left, and if you think, exactly, and people have been saying he's been the problem this year. Without Ronaldo, we'll probably be where Everton are this year. That's how shocking it's been.
What's happened with Bruno Fernandes? Because I was, when he first came into Man United, he lit the place up, didn't he?
Yeah, he's been really good.
He's just gone. Another one that's gone off the ball.
It's the common theme at Man United. Man United have a knack of whoever walks through the door, barring Ronaldo, because he's a freak of nature of football. He's a GOAT. So his standard, he's still scoring goals. Still got 21 goals this season. No matter who it is who walks through the door at Man United within this broken institution, they become worse players. Eventually. The curse of Man United, the dross at Man United, the way that it's run, the lack of direction catches up. So a player can arrive and have good moments for a little bit of period of time, but then that crumbles because the overall structure and direction at the football club is not there. And we're buying players who are individually good. Sancho is individually a really good player. We don't have a system that can accommodate him. Bruno is individually a good player, which is what he was doing when he was in a good moment. Now he's having bad moments. He looks worse for wear. We've got some good individuals, but collectively, there's no direction with coaching, stylistically, players complementing each other. Let's not get that player who costs this much money, but let's get this player who's less money, but he accompanies this player on that side. Do you know what I mean? The cohesive unit, which is what you guys have started to do. So it's funny how there are a lot of parallels between what I've learned over the last 5 years, and I'm humble enough to admit it now. We can have our laughs and stuff on social media and the banter, Arsenal, banter FC and this, that. We're not like Arsenal, we're not that. We're worse. There were a lot of parallels between Man United and Arsenal in terms of rebuilding, yeah? But I see us as worse because, we've got more money to try and spend our way out of it. We've spent on crap. Although it might not end up well for Arteta, who knows? You're in a great position now. He might end up finishing 7th still because it might go to shit and then everyone could say, get out, fine. But you've still shown, by going to Chelsea, you've still shown that he can get some level of performance out of this. And there's some sort of gradual growth. And even though we got rid of Aubameyang in January and you guys were saying this is all down to not getting a midfielder in the Jan, we should have I get that. But he's still shown, or the club has still shown that actually, with Edu, we're going to believe in this manager. We might not get things when we want to get them, and there's going to be a bit more short-term pain, but it's the right thing to get rid of Aubameyang right now. It's the right thing to freeze out Ozil and get rid of him. It's the right thing to get rid of Mustafi. It's the right thing to, and then we build from there.
You make a great point, because do we, Lee, have to look on it and say to ourselves, right, especially listen to Flex there, right? And we all want to spend our way out of it as well sometimes. We're all like, get this guy, get that guy. Now, do we look on it and say, even though we know Arteta's made a lot of mistakes, right? and we know that at time. I mean, we just saw like the two sides of Arsenal. You know, the great performance at Chelsea, but then the 3 previous performances where, you know, we've been in the driving seat to try and get that top 4. But when you listen to Flex talking and you look at the way Arsenal are trying to do it, which is, you know, bringing in young, hungry players, bringing in players that they may not be your 50, 60 million guys, but they fit the system. Someone like a Tomiyasu springs to mind, you know, who fits what Arsenal are trying to do. Do we then have to look across at Man United and say, you know what, that shows us that we need to be patient? Because even when you look at the Liverpool team, they've got players there, right, that are world beaters now.
Yeah.
But at the time when they bought them,
all of them.
You know, Mane wasn't a world beater. He was a good player. He was a really good player.
No,
he wasn't a world beater, nor was Andy Robertson.
Nor was
and
Salah.
These guys, even Salah, you know. They sometimes buy players that are under the radar a little bit, but they know they're going to fit what they're trying to do. Mikel Arteta's trying to kind of, and we've seen that in a lot of performances this season. So when you look at the United model and say they have tried to spend their way out of it, and it ain't worked. We do have to have a process of rebuilding.
Yeah, and that's something that we've done, and I think that Manchester United would probably say that they've missed a trick, that they've not backed one of their managers. You know, if you look at, I think that Arsenal and Man United are very, very similar. They've had 2 unbelievable managers that have done the long journey, so it was always going to be difficult to replace.
None of the 2 teams got the transition right, did they?
No. And to be honest, you know, Emery was a bit of a scapegoat. Look what he's gone and done. You could say the same with Moyes, what he's gone and done at West Ham. You know, they're
exactly.
probably the same sort of situation. What we've done is we've gone and go, right, we're going to get a young manager, we're going to make mistakes, but we're going to bring these young players through. I like the way that Arsenal have done that, by the way, the signings that we've made. I'm a big fan of Ramsdale, the way that he's come through. Ben White, I think, will become a very, very good player. Gabriel Young, we've brought in some very to complement the young players that we've got.
Yeah.
But we needed to kick on a little bit more like that. With Manchester United, when you listen to Flex say that, you know, you don't realise probably how bad Man United are, because Man United being Man United, you don't expect it, like, you know. But also,
we're thinking of the brand name.
Exactly that. You're thinking of the crest. Well, it's in the middle or something like that.
They've always
thinking of the crest.
But when you look at Man United, what's happened when at the beginning of the season, if you'd have said to me, Man United will be like 5th, 6th, 7th, and with the signings that they made, you would actually go, you're mad. Because I thought that they would be challenging for the title. You know, what's happened with Man United is that they've capitulated with the managerial situation. You know, and when people say, oh, should we get rid of Arteta? That is the fear of Arsenal fans. Oh, we can't, because look what's happened with Man United. You know, they've gone with Ollie, and since Ollie's left, by the way, there's been no improvement.
It's just been the same. It's been the same. Yeah,
there's been no improvement.
Yeah,
so sometimes when you sack a manager, it's not necessarily the right thing to do, and that's what Arsenal fans are very, very reluctant with the Arteta situation, and I get that, like, you know, but Arsenal are building on a style of play that is better, but ultimately, you know, which still doesn't get us where we want to go. Manchester United, by the way, as bad as Man United and what Flex has said there, they've lost 3 games less than us. Do you know what I mean? Like, which is, you just.
But look, you're still 3 points ahead of us.
Yeah, so there's a lot of inconsistencies. There's a lot of inconsistencies in this league, and it isn't necessarily who's the best team, because when you look at it like that, it's who is going to be the most consistent, and so, that is where Man United have let themselves down.
Yeah,
they've not been consistent enough this season.
And sometimes when you see a team, they've drawn loads and loads of games. What that kind of tells you, they're not very brave in their performances.
No, we're cowards.
It's either it comes off and Ronaldo gets you out of trouble, or you scrape a draw or you lose.
Exactly.
And that's kind of been the case for United. But Ten Hag has come in now. Are you
excited by that?
Yeah, you excited by Ten Hag coming?
It's the first.
You don't seem like
no. I wouldn't be excited.
Listen,
I'm not like,
because
it should be
so
Ten
bad.
Hag.
No.
Ten Hag's one of the top managers, you know, most talked about managers in Europe, isn't he?
Listen.
I know he's only done it in the Dutch league, but he's one of the most.
I wasn't excited when George Graham took over. I wasn't excited when Arsene Wenger took over. I wasn't excited when Mikel Arteta. It's not necessarily, that
we're so much in the mud, and I need to see so much more happen at this football club that I'm more on like a tick list. Like, okay, let's get someone who's progressive. Let's get someone who wants to play good football. Let's get someone who wants to get his teeth into a project and is a highly tipped manager on the ascendancy. I think the biggest thing with Pochettino was that he was deemed as a manager in a descendancy, and I don't think Manchester United wanted to go with that. Me personally, I know I'm in a small minority here, really small minority. I might only be by myself with this. I wasn't against Pochettino coming in at all. I thought
he was going to be Man United.
Yeah, and I did think I do like them both, but the way there was a lot of Man United, nearly all of the whole fan base was like, do not get Poch anywhere near this club. He's a bottler. He's last year's news. Man United would go backwards even further. And I thought, well, I think there's a lot of parallels between him and Ten Hag. Ten Hag is winning the Eredivisie and the Dutch Cup with Ajax in that league, like they should. Let's have it right. You know, he's built a couple of teams in the Champions League that have done well and played good football. And they went to the semi-final. They bottled it against Pochettino.
Yeah.
You know, I look at the PSG job. I think it's always a job that is damned if you do, damned if you don't, because the common denominator at PSG is not the carousel of managers, i.e. Unai Emery, i.e. Tuchel, i.e. Pochettino. The common denominator is PSG. You know, nobody is successful there. Emery's left there. Look what he's gone on to do. Tuchel left there, won the Champions League straight away. That club is a different institution. Pre's in London, we all know him and how that club works. It's a very, very different world. And I think the worst thing Pochettino could have actually done for his reputation, especially to Man United, was go there. Yeah. Because Pochettino doesn't win anything. He's about to win the French league, but it's the French league. Yeah. So you know what I mean? So, but Ten Hag is exciting, yes, but it's only the first step. Man United need to relinquish so much control at that football club and get behind that manager. If he walks in there on the first day and says him, they need phasing out. They have to back him in doing it.
If Pochettino would have didn't take the PSG job, he'd be Man United manager.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because he would have been available when they wouldn't have got the interim manager. So I wonder if he has.
It's a shiny new
not a bad gig, does it?
That's not a bad gig.
He backed himself to go there and make an impact.
Messi and Neymar,
but Ten Hag is seen as, like I said, the shiny new toy. It's new, it's exciting, it's different. Let's try something we haven't had yet. And I'm happy that they've gone with the manager who most of the fan base wants, because it gives that unification straight away. And I do like him. I am excited by him, but because we're so bad right now and there's so much else that has to change, I'm not getting too excited yet. That's the first one. That's the first thing done.
When you listen to him talk,
great, isn't it?
It's like my beard.
But United are in the mud. We've got to win.
Yeah.
Shame on you if you don't. In the words of Lee, shame on them. Yeah. Shame on if you don't beat us. In this state, I'm not. No. I'll make a promise. I will make a promise here on AFTV. If we win this game by mirror, I don't know how. I won't even do the gloating thing of
you've got like Ronaldo and people like that. You've got Bruno Fernandes. You've got
match winners.
Match winners that can turn it on.
The only way we win the game is if you drop off and go back to what you were doing a few weeks ago.
If Arsenal played the level, listen, I actually turned around to one of my mates yesterday and said, like, the Tottenham game, if Arsenal play like this against it, it's going to be one hell of a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what we've got to do. We've got to go now to the Emirates. And I listen, two things that are very, very important for that. The players have got to go and put in that energy and performance, but the fans have got to be right up for this game as well. The support yesterday.
The fans will be, after that Chelsea game. Fans are buzzing.
We will be buzzing. And
it could have went the other way if we'd have lost to Chelsea. Yeah. The fans of 12:30 kickoff. Fans would be
looking forward to the game.
God. And who we playing? United. They're just like us.
Yeah.
It could be whoever wins. Who
That's
cares?
Exactly what
None of us
like
are gonna. But now, all of a sudden, the dynamics change. It's like, we beat United.
And that is Man United's worst. This is what I'm saying. I believe. I know you're not Liverpool, but I believe the game will be played at a similar intensity from your side. Or it should be. You should be on us, because we're very, very fragile, very vulnerable. And if you play as aggressive as you did against Chelsea, pressing on their wing backs, pressing the centre mids, pressing the centre back, stopping them from playing. You do that to us for the first couple of minutes of the game, we'll be on the floor.
I've been here before with Arsenal, Man United, though, when we think, right, we're going to beat Man United.
Remember that time we went to Old Trafford?
Yeah.
But not at the Emirates, though.
Rashford and all that.
Not at the Emirates.
That was when Rashford just coming on.
in and
I looked at the team sheet.
Winning.
And we got lost that game.
But not at the Emirates, though, guys. When you got the recent years, I can't remember. The last time we won at the Emirates was in the FA Cup with Lukaku and that in the blue kit, and then the time before that was the 3-1 in the black kit where Lingard done the dancing. I don't think we've won at the Emirates since then.
And De Gea had an unbelievable.
And De Gea saved about 50 shots.
Yeah, so we've done all right there. Listen, I think
it's a must-win now.
It's a must-win for us, but there's always that doubt in your mind because it's Man United, and after, I know it sounds silly, but
they've got Cristiano Ronaldo.
They've got the Ronaldo. After what you see yesterday with Arsenal, we needed a madness and we got it. Manchester United are in the same sort of position as we are now.
We're in a worse position.
They need a bounce back and they need a big result.
And United know if United lose this game,
they're out.
They're out of the race. Whether Flex, I know
they've got a punch. They're out of the race already.
But even if you win it, you're not out of it.
Yeah, still exactly. Of course,
and the thing is with Arsenal now, they know that if we win the game on Saturday, it puts enormous pressure on Tottenham. Tottenham go to Brentford
100%.
It's a later kickoff, isn't it? They go to
5:30, I think.
Yeah, that's a tough place to go to Brentford, as we've seen this season. Right, that's not a given. Tottenham coming off of the back of a defeat as well, where they didn't play well, and Brighton found a way to nullify Harry Kane. I think a lot of teams are going to be looking on that and saying, because what Brighton did is they put Basuma literally for the whole game. I know he's a brilliant player, Basuma, but they put Basuma like that on Harry Kane and stifled him.
Yeah, didn't have a shot hard game, did he?
Yeah, other teams are going to look on that and say, can we kind of do the same type of thing? It might not be an easy game for Tottenham. We know they've got quality up front that they can, in games they're not playing well, they can still win. But that's not an easy game going away to Brentford. This is a huge opportunity for Arsenal to get a massive 3 points and make a statement that, we're back in this top four race.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And listen, what's the best thing? What was the best injection of confidence for that? Go and beat Chelsea. Not only just go and beat them, go and get 4 goals as well. What I mean? So where we've gone from one day thinking, I can't see when Arsenal are going to win, can't see when Arsenal are going to score. Now I'm looking forward to Saturday. You know what I mean?
Does that as Arsenal fans, I've got a question for you guys. Does that? I know my team's in the mud and I'm saying what I'm saying and I'll stick by it. But from you guys' perspective, the fact that has happened and that is a characteristic of your team being so poor, thinking where's the next goal going to come from, the next win going to come from. Then you do that against Chelsea. Is it a worry that actually then you could just see something revert back where it's like we're slow, we're letting United play, what's going on?
That's the fear. That's the fear, because I remember the game against Brighton. Out of those sequence of games, it's the Brighton one.
That was a hurtful.
You were particularly poor enough.
Yeah, we were
poor. Like where you fully deserved to lose.
We were at home and we were so lackluster. Brighton looked like the team going for top 4. Yeah. They were on it.
Yeah.
And we weren't. And that shocked me.
Yeah.
I watched the game and I'm like, I'm actually shocked here. I was in the stands and I'm like, I'm shocked at what I'm seeing. Do these guys not want the top? It wasn't until we got that goal back, like in injury time, that all of a sudden we started doing what we should have been doing from the beginning. I then saw the Southampton game a bit differently. I know a lot of fans were really upset about that game. We lost the game, obviously 3 on the bounce, you're upset. But I thought Southampton were very fortunate in that game to get away with winning. We should have got minimum a point. That we had, I think it's 23 or 24.
Yeah.
We had a lot of shots. They'd lost 6-0 the week before. They said, listen, we're just battening down the hatches, and we couldn't break them down. Yeah. What worried me about that was, all right, the effort was there, the endeavour was there, but we ain't got no one who's going to score any goals.
No quality.
But what I think is a bit of a game changer in the Chelsea game is that one of the guys that we come under a lot of criticism, we said, well, where are we going to get goals from? Scored 2 and could have got more.
Yeah, he steps up.
And looked lively, Eddie. So now all of a sudden you're thinking, well, hey, he can score. We can get goals. We scored 4 away at Chelsea.
Do you think it was a one-game wonder where
I don't know.
kind of fell his way, or does it?
I'll tell you.
I don't think so, because if you, even though like say the both goals were kind of like errors by their defence.
They were, yeah.
He poached. He still poached, like especially the second goal. he persisted and he poked home the goal. I liked it was a poacher's goal. So he fought for those goals. You know what I mean? The first goal was a mistake, but he pressed the player, and I saw him do that in the previous game. Right? He pressed the player into a mistake, Christensen, and then he finished. That bodes well for me. That shows me that this guy's hungry.
I have to say that, like, you know, if Lacazette was playing yesterday, he doesn't score that goal, does he?
No, because he ain't got the pace.
He hasn't
Clean
got that
through
pace.
as well. And
He ain't got the pace.
And that was the one thing that I liked with Eddie yesterday, is that his pace pace frightens defenders. I don't care what anybody says, you know what I mean? Yeah, you can be physical and all that, but sheer pace. That's what got him that first goal. His pace, his energy, and all that, like, you know. So I do think that, you know, it's a lot down to Eddie and the way we played and the pace and all that. Pace is what you need, and we've got that with certain players now.
And when you play him, you got him, Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli. That front three, they're quick and they press. And I just think, you know what? Listening to United and, you know, Arsenal, and there's not a lot between us as the points show, right? But I think what the difference is, why we're a little bit more upbeat than you are. You're doom and gloom. We're a little bit more upbeat. Is really, I have seen on occasions this season
exactly that
performances by Arsenal, even in defeat. Man City lost at home. We played well. Liverpool lost at home. Up until the mistake by Ramsdale, we were in it. Well. We were.
You've seen getting a red card away at Anfield, muck in, get a 0-0, even though they came back and beat you.
There is signs.
When we played Wolves away and at home, you know, I saw
twice you beat them in succession when you had to.
I saw good performances. You know,
great points
throughout the season. I've seen, as well as horror shows.
There's been some positives,
but
Arsenal don't give up.
Yeah, I've seen performances, and I feel that's why with the fans they're a little bit more. They're more positive, I feel, than United fans, because I think with you guys, you haven't seen performances.
None.
You've just seen an individual in Cristiano Ronaldo.
I can't think of one good, solid performance this season.
Throughout.
Throughout. First game of the season was at Leeds 5-1, but Leeds, everyone was scores 4 and 5s against them, and we did 6-2 against them last year. They just got their number.
Good performance against Spurs, I remember.
I'll be honest.
Which one at home?
The one at home wasn't. The one away
was
the 3-0.
The 3-0.
But with that, we all left the stadium. Most Man United fans said Nuno's on his arse. That Spurs
but that ain't
team.
your fault.
Yeah, we still.
I thought that was a good performance.
We were conceding loads of goals.
I'll take 3-0 at Tottenham.
Yeah, no, it was all right, but in the context
all right.
It was in the context of where we were at. We went with a back five then because we were conceding loads of goals going into it ourselves. And we put the final there, and then they got Conte out of it, so they won that day. But do you know what I mean? But I agree with 100% with what you're saying about. That's what I'm saying. You guys have seen your team put in performances under Arteta this season.
Listen, I've seen Arsenal destroy Tottenham in the first half. I haven't seen that we was absolutely fantastic in the first half.
What was that game against Villa at home as well?
We have put in some
Leicester,
and that is the thing. We've put in great performances. Then we've put in a few bad ones, and even we've put on a 5-game unbeaten run. Then we've gone on this 3-game defeat, and you think, I can't see us getting
typical
out of
Arsenal, isn't it?
And then we've got out of it now, and we could go on another run. It is a roller coaster with Arsenal. I want a bit of a little flat line.
I was very worried, because I was thinking the loss of Partey and Tierney could be terminal for this team. But what a performance against Chelsea! They've turned it around. Let's get your predictions, guys. We're going to round it up now. Lee, prediction for the game.
6-0. No, I think it'd be a real tough game. I'm not listening to what you're saying, Daniel.
Do you honestly think it'd be a real tough game?
I think that I think it'd be really close, and I think that maybe Arsenal nick it 2-1. But I think that I don't think we're that great at home at times. You know what I mean? If Man United defend deep, I think we struggle a little bit. So, but listen, I think momentum of Chelsea game. If Arsenal don't win on Saturday, after what we've done at the weekend, that's when there's doubts in my mind. They need to go on there and just get the result, and I think that we just nick this one.
2-0 Arsenal, and could be worse.
Jesus.
2-0 Arsenal and can be worse.
Even Ronaldo in there.
With Ronaldo there, obviously he can score at any moment.
Do you think Ronaldo will play after what's gone on? That's good.
He's back in training. Yeah.
Oh, is he?
He's returned back to training now.
Good
So,
for him, like quality.
yeah, you know, we'll kind of speaking off camera. I think when people grieve, there's no right or wrong. Is there? I mean, no one would have been surprised if he took the rest of the season out.
No.
His head, but he's back, and I should imagine he'll play if he's back in
I
training.
hope the Arsenal fans give him a good reception.
I'm sure they will.
I'm sure they will.
I'm sure they will.
But having said that, I still don't think having him's enough to win the game. Personally, I will be amazed if we win it. And like I say, shame on you if we manage to beat you at the Emirates. Shame on you.
Heat the pressure on any.
2-0 Man United. 2-0 Arsenal.
I'm going to go 3-1 to Arsenal. I do think United will
7
score.
goals in 2 games, Robbie.
7 goals in 2 games. I don't know. I fancy us. I think that was. There's certain times you play certain games that give you such a lift. I think the performance was good in the Chelsea game, and we scored goals. And I think that all of a sudden confidence has returned. The fans are going to be right up. There's only a couple of home games left. The fans are going to be right. I've already had people ringing me up. Yeah, Robbie, what do you reckon? Any tickets about? Like, you know what I mean, right?
They all want to go now. They all want to go. Yeah, I want to go now.
Although people, to be fair, look at the support we had at Chelsea. It was magnificent. I feel that I feel we're going to get the job done. We know we've got a second bite now at getting into this top 4, which had Tottenham have beaten Brighton, we would probably be but they didn't. And as I said, it looked like there's 3 bottle jobs going for this top 4. Who's going to bottle it the least?
We're the worst.
But listen, if Arsenal can win that, it could be. Then they got West Ham next week, and of course West Ham have also got really big tough game in Europe. First leg of that coming up on Thursday. We kind of catching them at the right time as well. Plus as well, they haven't been super great recently in the Premier League at home. If we could get 2 out of the next 2 victories, Arsenal, the chances of getting into top 4 again massive. It makes you think if we'd have dealt with him 3-3. But that's football.
That's football.
But listen, I want to thank you, Flex, for coming on.
Big up, man.
Pleasure.
Big up.
Go and check out his channel, United View. It's brilliant. Especially if you're a Man United fan, it's essential. If you're if you're a fan of a rival team, it's essential because people have been tuning in to look at the meltdown. But if you're a fan of football, you want to go there. Because you want to hear if when Ten Hag's been announced, you want to hear from the real fans how they're feeling about it, not just the sugar-coated stuff. They will give you the real. And if you go into United View, it's a really listen. Congratulations on your channel.
Big up, man.
I know you just hit 100,000 subscribers as well. You ain't even going a year, have you?
8 months, man. Not even a year old.
Crazy, man.
Unbelievable.
Crazy. So congratulations. What a link in the description. Check out Flex. And you can check. What's your channel called again? No, forget that. Forget that. We'll worry about that. No love for that channel. You know what I mean? What's it called again? Hospitality. That's what he done with that channel.
Hospitality TV.
I've got a decent Robbie coming on next time,
Oh, Robbie Fowler. He's got Robbie Fowler. Yeah? He's got a great channel, Lee Judges TV. Make sure you check it out. And I want you to please subscribe here if you haven't already done so. Like this video as well. Don't forget you can check out Who Knows Wins. The link is in the description. You can deposit £5 and get yourself a chance to win 10 grand. When
we ain't got nowhere near it.
You reckon we could get that before the end of the season?
No, probably not. I'll tell you what, we couldn't get 10 between us. You know what I mean?
But last week, a load of people shared that 10,000 pot. So listen, it can be done.
It can be done.
It can be done. So thanks for watching, and looking forward to the game. Don't forget to check out AFTV and United View as well if you want to find out what's happening. I know they interview fans after the game as well. We will be catching up with the fans after the game, and we'll be in the studio for the watch along. Big game Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. Arsenal versus Manchester United. The Invincible podcast. Myself, Robbie, and Lee Judges come together once a week to discuss all things Arsenal. Straight talking, considered discussion, brought to you by the fans of the only club in Football League history to go invincible.